Okay, just wanted to do a little product update and bit of some upgrades and some stuff guys were wanting to see on our Lights Out Snaring coil snare support wires. I also want to go through and I'll set it up in the back here, show you how we're anchoring things and how we get the system working, and we'll just start with going over the wires. Now, our original coil snare support wire, the coil just come to just a short end. We had some guys were interested in running longer snares, so they kind of wanted a whammy on here. So to be able to do that, what we ended up doing was we added this the length of wires sticking out the end. So now we're able to turn this forward, and guys can coil their snare in and then use the collar support off of this wire. If you don't want that little piece on there, you can cut it off or just leave it out the side. It's not going to affect anything. It's just there. The other thing we did is I've got 3 different lengths of these now. So what we've done, we've got these 12-inch ones, and the idea behind that is the guy is able to add your own wire length to the end. It cuts back a bit on shipping if that's something that interests you. The other option, so by adding the 9 wire to it, the way we do it is with 1/8 double ferrules, so you're able to crimp it on. Now, the other option we've got with these coils, we'll be able to set these up this way, so we can still wrap our snare into this coil. We're anchored on this end to a tree. We wrap our snare through here. Now we can run a whammy or a collar support on this end, and then we're able to sneak that out a little bit, over the trail if you're worried about too much stuff in an open areas. So that it's another option with the 12 inchers. You can certainly do it with the longer ones as well, but it makes this very universal. The other thing is a lot of guys are saying they're one-time use. Where I'm hanging these snares or these wires, they're in bait stations that I'm using year after year. So I've got these wires that I've caught single, one wire, and I've pulled over 25-30 coyotes off that one wire. So they're definitely could be reused. Every once in a while the coil's going to get a little bit twisted up, but it's just a matter of just re-straighten it and re-thread your snare in. So so we got 12-inch lengths. We've got our 40-inch lengths, and this was the original length, was a 40. Some guys were saying, well, it's not quite enough in their areas going around bigger trees and getting that snare over the trail, so we're a little bit short. These are kind of for that tighter area. So what we did was just listening to what the customers are asking. So we went with so our longest wire is 58 inches. So what that does, it really gets you stretched out. So if this is our trail, we're anchored off. We got lots of extra to tie off and get that snare over where you need it. And again, that's where you like the 12-inch ones. You can make your wires. I've got guys that are adding 5 feet of number 9 wire to the coils, and because they like the speed of the system and how it all functions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back here and show you on this tree back here. We got a nice little spot to hang a snare, and I think we'll go through how I'm anchoring these wires and show you how that all functions. So on our snares, what we're running, you're going to see a couple of different things there today with our springs. So we've got our our A1 spring, which is a magnum size spring, and we've got our signature series kill spring. You'll notice that our triggers are attached to the spring arm, you know, on both sizes of springs, and you can see the difference here between the two, how much extra pull these bigger springs are taking on the cable, and it's finding it really beneficial with the coyotes to have that extra pull, and the kills are there's a bit of a difference in sight damage and stuff between the two springs. Both are very effective, but again, one is just a little better than the other, and that was why we come out with this signature series spring, which is now it's actually the largest kill spring that on the market today, and they're both springs are stainless material, and we just went with the quality material for the longevity for the end users. So, I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek too. We've got our new setting pliers and stuff coming out. So these are going to be lights out snaring setting pliers. I've gone away with the spring or with the screws on the ends. Just the bigger springs are they're folding the screws over, and safety reasons, I chose to go with a more manufactured plier, and just feel that they're a safer plier and for setting, and we just trying to move in a forward direction with the snaring stuff, and that's just one of the products that we're gonna play with. So I'm gonna grab a couple wires, and we're gonna just step back here, and I'll show you what we're doing for tying these wires on. So the other thing, I guess I'll explain to you too, is we've got, so this is our signature series spring. We're running the black anodized cable that we sell here in-house. We've also been in contact with, I switched over from cam locks to slide locks here a couple years ago, and I'm really happy with the success we're having with them. They're a Kef lock. There's a 1/16 and a 3/32 size, and I actually had the manufacturer make me 5/64 cable size. So we've got specific cable size here now, and what I ended up having them do with these Kef locks is I just had them lengthen it a bit and open the hole up so that we could run a little bigger breakaways if we wanted to run bigger breakaways in it, and it just give the lock a little so they're a little bit faster, and they're so you can see here the difference in the two. The one here is the 1/16, and this is the 5/64. So there's not a lot of difference, but it is definitely sped the locks up, and been real happy with how that turned out. So okay, let's get back here, and we'll get to hanging one of these coil wires up. So we're just going to we'll run the 58-inch wire. So this is where we're going to hang our snare. We've got this larger diameter tree here, and that is where you'll see, like, this is the 40-inch wire. So there's not quite enough to wrap around the tree and get a good anchor tie on this side. We could definitely use this off of this tree here. There's lots here, and I can show you both how I would do both here, just as demonstration purposes. But so what we're doing, and I anchor kind of wherever on the tree. We want the most solid spot, but in this case here, I'm going to end up wanting my snare hanging right about there. So I start at the tail end of these wires, okay, and I'm not plier tightening stuff. I'm just I'm pulling it tight by hand, and I'm just giving it a few wraps around the tree, or around itself. And I'll zoom in on this after, but you can see this creates a swivel point on the tree, which is good. Now by giving it a little push down, it tightens it up, and then you could set your snare, coil there, your wire, and then all we're going to do is weave this snare in. Okay, now this system is set. You can dress these up. If a guy's worried about it, you can take and you can shove grass. You can shove just to hide this and camouflage. There's lots of different ways a guy can disguise this up. Just a matter of shoving them in the coils. If your snare loop is too big, now we're able to just pull that tail back out, right? We can shrink it up. We can set that, make that snare fit that spot, okay? So this kind of adds there's lots of different ways that we can use this system, but you can see the spring hangs off to the side, and it's obviously set a little bit high here, but you can just readjust and off to the races. Now, the end of the season, or you got a coyote, just a matter, you just got to unweave the snare. You can grab another snare, weave it in. This is one with an A1 spring on it, so it's just a weaving action. This is 5/64 1x19 cable. We've got 1/16 and we've got 3/32. But you can see how fast that is to set. If you've got a coyote, cut the cable, shove the washers in my pocket, and we're out the door. On to the next. Now, you can see, right, so on this side, what I'm going to do, I'll set this down. So this gives us lots of room, and this pulls around and moves on the tree, and that is ideal because they're just going to swing back out of the way if they're not laying dead on the trail for you. So another thing, again, I'm always tying or anchoring as short as I can on the tail end, and what I'm calling the tail end is the opposite end of the wire from the coil. So on this tree here, I'm going to go as short as I can. I'm going to give this a couple of quick hand wraps. No pliers, because if we plier tighten this right at the end here where it's been plier tightened, it's just going to cause a friction point because it can't move on the tree, and you're going to end up having it likely have that wire break off. So you can see with this one here, our snare, like we're too long. So in a situation like this, I just wrap it around the tree. I shorten that up. We get things set and twisted into place there. And if you got to go 2 or 3 times around the tree, so be it. But the whole point of this is getting this snare sitting where you want it. And there it's sitting. All these snares, you're going to see a little bit of glare and stuff off the washers and that. Haven't done anything with these. We just built them and brought them out here for this. A lot of the components with this black cable, I don't have to use baking soda or anything on those, so I've been actually, if I'm going to boil them, I'll pre-boil all my parts and then just assemble from there. Again, I'm dealing with prairie dogs, not bush dogs, so I get away with a little bit of different application here. Now, again, if this snare is too big, it's just a matter of pulling that out And when those get caught, it just comes down. And the nice part about these calf locks, when they come down and that cable kinks over as it locks, we're not getting that cable slip, and that's where this system is really shined. Now you can see this is, I mean, it's loose on the tree here, so if you want to tighten it up, you leave your snare out, right? I mean, if you want to weave it up through itself, like, you can do many different things with these wires. But again, if you're running those bait stations, you know, same spot year after year, you've got options and what to do here. Now that, you know, it doesn't get much simpler than that. The speed is there. It's a fast system, and it's been very effective. So have a look at it. If you've got questions, please email us or contact us. lightsoutSnaring@gmail.com. We do have a little bit of a Facebook page, and we've got our YouTube channel. But I really wanted to emphasize how we're anchoring these and showing guys not to plier tighten. We're you know, explaining that pivot point on the tree. It acts as another swivel. There's a really, as the cable flows through here, we've got you know, a nice swivel action there. The other thing we can do here, if just give me 1 second, I will show you what these look like. Everything blends into the grass pretty good here. Okay, so let's run these forward. Just going to take, this is another thing with these new setting pliers that we can do, is we can actually take and bend this wire forward with them. And it's kind of a handy little feature too. So what we're going to do is we're going to weave this through and show you what the whammy looks like on here. So I'll weave this through. Now the snare that I've got here, it's extra long, but we've got I've got a double ferrule on the end, and it's just if you're worried about those single stops slipping, it's another way of doing these ends. So I use these little coiled snare support wires. Okay, so there's that, how that looks. Now when this gets caught, things get tugging and pulling, that's the collar support comes off, and that snare is going to come tight. Now they've got lots of room here. We're going to pivot on the tree, we're going to pull off of the trail, and in short order, those carotid arteries should be closed up and pinched off, and we're animal should be expired. So again, check us out. If you've got more questions, you want to see, you know, up close videos, I can do an up close one on what these coils, what it looks like on this tree, and really focus in on that for you. But I can't stress it enough when a guy is putting them on the tree, just to make sure that we've got these swivels here, and things are tucked in, hiding and out of the way, and we can dress this stuff up. That's the nice part about these coils, is we can press branches and stuff into them and really utilize them and make them beneficial to for what we're doing here. And it's just, you know, reset and reuse, and And if this wire is buggered up on this end and you don't want to reuse that, cut it off, throw a new chunk of number 9 on there with an 1/8 inch double ferrule, and utilize those coils. It doesn't have to be a one-time use, and just yeah, run with it and have fun. Lights Out Snaring. Thanks, guys.